Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I have some breaking news coming out here for you. So we're going to be talking about Ukraine and also the CIA director William Burns. So this CIA director that you see in the screen here in that picture, he has come out and acknowledged that without military assistance from the US, Ukraine could experience significant setbacks in its war with Russia, and saying that Ukraine could lose the war on the battlefield by the end of 2024, so by the end of this year. Now, I think that's pretty obvious to most people, but we've got multiple officials of the U.S. and also all over the world, actually, many European countries and also Ukraine themselves, warning that they won't be able to fight this war much longer without U.S. assistance. Okay, and I mean the U.S., literally the U.S., nobody else, because nobody can fund the war like the US can. Okay, the US has the ability to print unlimited amounts of cash for Ukraine, and other countries can't do that. So this is kind of a update tying into this whole Ukraine aid package that's supposed to be going to the floor on the House tomorrow to be voted on and potentially be passed. Okay, and we could be having $61 billion going to Ukraine to fight this war. They're going to be getting lots of ammunition and supplies that they need, and they're going to rush them over there as soon as they possibly can. So it's looking like this thing's going to pass because we've got lots of reports saying that they're already preparing to send the ammunition to them immediately. So, yeah, major warning coming out from the CIA director saying that Ukraine could lose the war by the end of 2024. So let's go ahead and get into this article here. I've got some information for you from CBS News. CIA Director William Burns says that without aid, Ukraine could lose on the battlefield by the end of 2024. It says here, CIA Director William Burns acknowledged Thursday that without military assistance from the U.S., Ukraine could experience significant setbacks in its war with Russia. Ukrainians are at a tough moment on the battlefield right now, Burns said during a Q&A session at the Bush Center Forum on Leadership in Dallas. With supplemental assistance from the U.S., Burns said Ukrainian forces can hold their own on the battlefield in 2024 and continue to do damage with deeper strikes in Crimea and against the Black Sea Fleet. So I do want to note here, too, I saw an article that came out that said Russia could support its war for at least 2 more years. So imagine this war over here could literally go on for at least 2 more years. Isn't that insane to think about? And if this aid package gets passed, this will most likely extend this war out for at least a year. Okay, I'm thinking at least a year in terms of Ukraine being able to fight, continue fighting, because they're going to get a lot of ammunition that they've been holding out on not getting over the last few months if this aid gets passed. So I wanted to note that. Burns added with the boost that would come from military assistance, both practically and psychologically. The Ukrainians are entirely capable of holding their own through 2024 and puncture Putin's arrogant view that time is on his side. His comments come as the deadlocked Congress continues to stall on Ukraine aid. On Wednesday, House Speaker Mike Johnson unveiled 3 bills to provide military assistance to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, including $60.4 billion for Ukraine. And it says here too, without supplemental assistance, the picture is a lot more dire. Burns said, I think there is a real risk that the Ukrainians could lose on the battlefield by the end of 2024, or at least put Putin in a position where he could essentially dictate the terms of a political settlement. Burns Thursday also addressed the Middle East, China, and other pressing national security topics. He alluded to far-reaching implications of the war in Ukraine, including in the Indo-Pacific. While initially Western solidarity in the face of Russia's aggression was sobering for Chinese President Xi Jinping as he considered making a move on Taiwan, Burns said, the surest way to undo that impact for us to be walking away from the Ukrainians right now. Of the Middle East, Burns said he had rarely seen a moment more combustible than it is today over his 40 years in public service. So look at that. That's a pretty big warning coming out here. Rarely seen a moment more combustible than it is today. So he is talking about all these conflicts, okay? He's talking about the Middle East. He's talking about Ukraine and Russia. He's talking about North Korea and South Korea, and then the U.S. combined with that as well. And then also what's happening with Taiwan and China. And then also now China's having tensions with the Philippines, okay? And the U.S., I think they just sent them some long-range missile launchers to the Philippines to boost their defense, and that angered Xi as well. Xi Jinping, the president of China, it angered him because, well, we're putting long-range missile launchers right off the coast of their shores. So, obviously he's talking about multiple potential conflicts that could kick off at a moment's notice. He called Iran's direct attack on Israel last Saturday a spectacular failure because of integrated air defense, good intelligence, Israel's military prowess, and help from the U.S. and regional partners. Byrd's comments came hours before multiple sources confirmed to CBS News that Israel launched a missile strike early Friday morning on Iran. He said the broad hope of President Biden and his administration was that we'll all find a way to de-escalate this situation, especially at a moment when the Israelis have demonstrated so clearly their superiority. Byrd's acknowledged his personal engagement over the past 6 months in ceasefire and hostage release talks in the Israel-Hamas war. So there's a little bit more information here that you guys can go ahead and read this if you want to. I just wanted to show you this part where he's talking about Ukraine. I'll cite it down below and share it with you. But let me know what you think about what he's talking about here. Is it definitely possible that Ukraine could lose this war? What if tomorrow this aid package does not get passed? And what if, worst case scenario, they don't get any more funding from the US, period? I don't see that happening, but let's just say hypothetically it did happen. I personally don't think Ukraine would be able to hold out by the end of the year. They just don't get enough support from Europe. They do get some support. I'm not saying they don't get none, but majority of their support comes from the United States because they're able to spend tens of billions at a time. Okay, the EU, whenever they give them aid packages, is in the millions. Okay, we're talking 10 million, 100 million, maybe 200 million, but it's a lot less money than what the United States is able to provide for them. So obviously, without the U.S.'s support, they can no longer fight this war. So if the aid stops coming from the U.S. for a very extended period of time, or maybe indefinitely, I don't believe Ukraine could sustain fighting. Especially right now, we know they're completely out of air defenses. They're very low in ammunition. They've got like no artillery. I'm actually very surprised they're even able to hold ground right now. I'm curious to see what they're using to maintain ground and not be losing, tens or hundreds or thousands of kilometers a day, or even a week, because of how badly the situation is for them. So let me know what you think down below. Share your thoughts and concerns down in the comment section. That's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this update, please smash that like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below and hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.